How did my husband stay calm while a deputy said I had to leave my house, right there in the courthouse hallway? Why did the judge treat me like a guest in the home I bragged about online? I thought I owned the story, and the house, until he proved I owned neither. My name is Alithea Wynn. People called me Ali because it sounded soft and easy. I was 34, and I worked at a dental clinic as the front desk lead. I handled schedules, insurance calls, and upset patients. I liked being the one who knew everything first. I liked being the one who could fix a mess with a smile. I married Graham Keller when I was 29. He was 36 now. He was steady and quiet, the kind of man who cleaned the sink before bed and paid bills early. He was a civil engineer, and he spoke like someone who measured every word. When we first met, I said I wanted stability. I told my friends I was done with chaos. I also told myself that a good life should look good. The house was the best part. It was on a calm street with trees and a long driveway. It had a big kitchen island and a small balcony off the main bedroom. When I posted photos, the light looked clean. People wrote comments about how lucky I was. I liked those comments more than I liked most conversations. On a Tuesday night, I stood in that kitchen and filmed a short video of the counters. I said the house looked like a magazine. Graham walked in and asked what I was doing. I said I was just sharing my life. He asked if I could stop showing the front of the house and the street sign. I told him he worried too much. He said privacy mattered. I said he acted like I was doing something wrong. Mia came in with her socks half on. She was 7 and always looked like she had just run somewhere. She asked if she could have a snack. Graham said yes and pointed to the fruit bowl. I said she could have crackers too because it was a long day. Graham asked if she had homework. Mia said she did most of it. I said she was fine. Graham looked tired, and I felt annoyed at his face like that, like my joy was a problem. I had a group chat with my sister Sienna and my best friend Cassidy. Sienna was 31 and always loud, even in text. Cassidy was 33 and worked in PR. She understood posting and image and timing. I sent them the kitchen video. Cassidy said the counters looked expensive. Sienna said I was living like a queen. I told them I earned it. I said a woman should not feel sorry for wanting nice things. Graham heard my phone buzz and he asked who I was talking to. I said it was just the girls. He asked why I needed to share every detail. I said it was normal and that he was being dramatic. He asked why I kept calling it my house when we were both living there. I said it was just a phrase. I said he should not turn everything into a fight. He did not yell. That was his style. He just went quiet. He opened the fridge, took out leftover pasta, and started heating it. I watched him like he was doing it on purpose, like calm was a weapon. I told myself he wanted me to feel small. I told myself his silence was a kind of control. My mother Paula visited the next day. She ran a small salon and always looked put together. She walked in and said the entryway looked better than last time. I said I had fixed it. She asked if Graham helped. I said he was busy with work. Paula said men like Graham only changed when they felt pressure. I said I agreed. Graham came down the stairs and greeted her politely. Paula asked him how work was going. He said it was fine and asked if she wanted tea. Paula said no and looked at the living room like she was checking what I owned. Later, when Graham went outside to take a call, Paula asked if my name was on the house. I told her it basically was. I said we were married, so it was ours. I said it was simple. Paula said I needed to protect myself and not be naive. I said I was not naive. I said I was smart. I said I knew what I was doing. That night, I went out with Cassidy and Sienna to a rooftop bar downtown. I wore a black dress and heels that made me feel taller. I posted a photo of my drink with the city behind it. Cassidy told me the lighting was perfect. Sienna asked if Graham minded me going out on a weeknight. I said he did not get to mind. I said I worked hard and deserved a break. A man at the bar smiled at me. He was around my age and dressed like he knew a camera. He introduced himself as Noah Keane. He said he did real estate photography and content work. He asked what I did. I said I ran a dental office front desk like a machine. He said I sounded powerful. I liked how he said that. Graham never talked like that. Graham said things like budget and schedule and remember to lock the door. Noah asked if I lived nearby. I said I lived in a nice house, and I lifted my phone a little so he could see a photo on my profile. He said it looked beautiful. He asked if I bought it. I said my husband and I did well. I said I had good taste. I did not mention that Graham handled most of the money talk. I did not mention that I never asked too many questions because I liked the feeling of security more than the details. Cassidy watched Noah and me. She leaned close and asked if I was enjoying myself. I said it was harmless. I said it was nice to be seen. Cassidy said I deserved attention. Sienna said men like Graham only valued you when they feared losing you. I nodded, like it was wisdom. When I got home, Graham was in the kitchen again. He asked what time it was. I said it was not that late. He asked if I drank. I said I had one drink and he was acting like my dad. He asked why I posted our kitchen online again. I said people liked it, and it was my page. He asked me to think about Mia and safety. I said he was using Mia as a shield for his jealousy. He said he was not jealous. He said he wanted peace. I said peace was not the same as silence. I said he wanted me to shrink. He looked at me for a long moment, and then he picked up his phone to set an alarm. I noticed a calendar notification for a second. It had a place name and a time, something like County Centre and a morning hour. He turned the screen down fast. I asked what that was. He said it was just an appointment. I asked what kind. He said it was personal. I told him he never told me anything anymore. He said he told me plenty, but I did not listen. I laughed and said he was being sensitive again. I said he should focus on work and let me handle the social stuff. Mia padded in half asleep and asked if everything was okay. Graham said yes and guided her back toward the hallway. He asked her if she wanted water. She said yes. I watched them and felt a strange pinch, like they had their own quiet world that did not need me. I told myself it was because Graham trained her to take his side. I told myself that was what controlling men did. I went upstairs and sat on the bed. I opened my phone and looked at Noah's follow request. I told myself it meant nothing. I told myself it was just networking and fun. I told myself a woman could breathe without asking permission. Then I accepted the request, and I stared at the kitchen photo on my page like it was proof that I had already won. The next morning, I woke up before my alarm. The house was quiet in a way that felt planned. Graham was already downstairs. I could hear the coffee machine, then the soft clink of a mug on the counter. I went down in my robe and saw 2 mugs, but they were not next to each other. One sat near the sink, one sat near the edge of the island. It looked like a small choice, but it annoyed me. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said yes, and I acted like nothing was wrong. He asked if I slept well. I said I was fine. He asked if I could not post the outside of the house anymore. I said he was being paranoid. He said it was about safety. I said safety was a cover for control. Mia came in and asked if she could wear her pink jacket. I said yes and fixed the zipper. Graham asked if I had signed her reading log. I said I would do it later. He said later always turned into never. I said he was nitpicking. I drove to work and replayed the rooftop bar in my head. Noah had sent a message after I accepted his request. He said he liked my style and asked if I ever worked with photographers at the clinic. I said it was possible, and I added a smile emoji. I told myself I was just being friendly. I told myself it was normal to talk to people. At the dental clinic, the air smelled like mint paste and disinfectant. I liked being there because it made me feel important. Patients needed me. The dentist needed me. The assistants needed me. I sat at the front desk and opened the schedule. I moved names around like puzzle pieces. When the phone rang, I answered fast and used my smooth voice. In the break room, Cassidy texted me early. She asked how the night ended. I said Graham was in one of his moods. She asked if he got jealous. I said he always did when I looked good. Sienna sent a laughing emoji and said I should keep him humble. I told them I was not doing anything wrong. I told them a wife should be able to live. My coworker Lila came in with her lunch bag and asked how my marriage was going. I said it was fine, but men were strange. Lila asked what I meant. I said my husband acted like he owned me. I said he tracked my posts and watched my time. Lila frowned and asked if he was controlling. I said he was. I did not say he had never touched me or threatened me. I did not say. He mostly just asked questions and then went quiet. I liked how Lila looked worried for me. It made me feel like the good one. Later, a patient complained about a billing issue. I fixed it and felt proud. I told myself that was what I brought to the marriage too. I brought order, I brought taste, I brought social connection. Graham brought money and silence. In my head, that made the deal simple. Around lunch, Noah messaged again. He asked what my day looked like and said he had a shoot near my area later. He asked if I ever took breaks outside. I said I had a short break, and I said maybe. My heart beat faster, and I told myself it was only because it felt fun. I told myself my husband made life dull, so I needed color. I did not meet Noah that day. I kept telling myself I was careful. Still, I checked my phone more than I should. I hid it under the counter when someone walked by. I said I was busy when the dentist asked for an update, even though I'd been staring at a screen. When I got off work, I stopped at the supermarket. I pushed the cart slowly and took my time. I liked being out because it meant I was not in the house with Graham's quiet. At checkout, my card declined on the first try. The screen beeped, and the cashier waited. I felt my face get hot. I tried again, and it worked. I called Graham in the parking lot. He answered quickly. He asked what happened. I said the card had a problem. He asked which account it pulled from. I said I did not know. He said we needed to talk about spending patterns. I said he was watching me like a police officer. He said it was not about watching. He said it was about planning. I said planning was his favorite excuse for control. When I got home, Graham was at the dining table with his laptop open. A spreadsheet was on the screen. I could see columns and dates, but I could not see a title. He closed it as soon as I stepped closer. He asked how my day was. I said it was long. He asked if I talked to anyone about us. I said I talked to my sister because I needed support. He said he did not like our issues being shared. I said he did not like me having allies. He asked why the grocery charge was higher than usual. I said prices were up and he should stop interrogating me. He said he was not interrogating. He said he wanted transparency. I said transparency meant he wanted to check my every move. He told me he wanted to sleep in the guest room again. He said he needed rest and space. I said he was punishing me like a child. He said he was protecting his peace. I laughed and told him peace was what people said when they stopped caring. He did not answer. He just stood, got a pillow, and walked down the hall. That night, I went upstairs and scrolled my feed. I posted a picture of the living room with a caption about building a life. People liked it. Some wrote that I was blessed. I showed Cassidy, and she said it was perfect. I told myself I was doing what any smart woman would do. I was setting a story first. At midnight, I heard a low hum. It was not the washer. It was not the air system. It was steady, like a small machine working. I opened my bedroom door and listened. The sound came from the guest room area. Then I smelled something faint, like warm plastic or toner. I walked down the hall slowly. I saw the line of light under the guest room door. I knocked once. Graham asked what I needed. I said I was just checking. He opened the door a little. His face looked calm and blank. I asked what the noise was. He said he was sorting old paperwork and clearing clutter. I asked why at midnight. He said he could not sleep. I glanced past him and saw the corner of a small shredder by the wall. I also saw a drawer in the desk that looked shut tight, like it had been pushed closed with care. He shifted his body so I could not see more. He asked if I needed anything else. I said no and walked away, but I felt something twist in my stomach. The next morning, I told Sienna about the shredder. I said it was weird. She asked if he was hiding money. I said maybe. Cassidy asked if I had checked his phone. I said I did not need to check because I already knew his type. I said men like him always thought they were smarter than everyone. At work, I hinted to Lila that my husband was moving money around. Lila asked if I was safe. I said I was safe, but I said I felt trapped. Saying it out loud made it feel true. It made me feel like I had a reason for anything I might do next. That afternoon, my phone showed a missed call with no caller ID. It rang only once. I stared at it longer than I should. I told myself it was spam. Then I saw Graham's car in the driveway on my home camera feed earlier than usual, pointed toward the street, like he might leave again. I told myself he was trying to scare me. I told myself I would not be scared. When I walked into the house, Graham was washing dishes. He asked if I could sit and talk later. I said I was tired. He said it mattered. I said everything mattered to him. He asked why I kept making him look bad to other people. I said he made himself look bad by acting cold. He asked if I was seeing someone. I said he was imagining things and needed help. He stared at the sink and kept washing, like my words were just water. I went upstairs and messaged Noah. I said my week was stressful. He asked if I wanted to take a walk sometime and clear my head. I said maybe, and my hands shook a little as I typed, like I was stepping onto a line I had drawn myself. By Friday, I felt like the house itself was judging me. Every room looked perfect, but the air felt wrong. Graham moved around me like I was a stranger. He spoke only when he had to. He asked if Mia had homework. I said yes. He asked if I could pick Mia up on time. I said I always did. He asked if we could stop fighting in front of her. I said we were not fighting. He was just sensitive. At the clinic, I told myself I was the stable one. I answered phones, fixed schedules, and smiled at patients. When people thanked me, it felt clean. I liked clean praise. At home, everything felt like a test. Noah messaged again that morning. He said he was nearby and asked if I wanted coffee after work. I told myself it was not a date. I told myself it was normal to talk to someone who listened. I said yes. I met him in the gym lobby because it was public and easy. The lobby smelled like rubber mats and citrus spray. Noah wore a simple jacket and sneakers, and he looked like he belonged in photos. He asked how my week was. I said it was heavy. He asked if my husband was the reason. I said my husband had changed. I said he used money like a leash. I said he watched me like a problem. Noah asked if I felt safe. I said I was safe, but I felt trapped. I liked saying that word. It made me sound like the victim, not the person making choices. He suggested a walk by the river. I agreed. We drove separately, which made me feel responsible, even though I knew what I was doing. The riverside promenade was cold, with grey water and small groups of runners. Noah walked close but did not touch me at first. He asked what I wanted in life. I said I wanted peace and respect. I said I wanted a partner who saw me. He said I deserved more than quiet punishment. I told him Graham was acting like I had done something wrong. Noah asked if I had. I said no. I said I only wanted space. I said I did not want to live like a child asking permission. I did not mention my late nights. I did not mention how my phone stayed face down now. I did not mention that I liked having two lives because it made me feel powerful. Noah asked if Graham ever praised me. I said Graham only noticed what I did wrong. I said he never said thank you. I said I kept the house beautiful, and he acted like it was nothing. Noah said any man would be proud to come home to that. I felt warm, and I decided that warmth meant truth. We stopped near a bench. He asked if I ever thought about leaving. I said sometimes. I said I could not leave because of Mia and because of the house. I said I had built that life. Noah asked if the house was in my name. I laughed and said it was basically mine because I was the wife. He asked if I was sure. I said I was sure enough. When I got home, Graham was in the kitchen slicing apples for Mia. He asked where I had been. I said I went for a walk to clear my head. He asked with who. I said alone. He nodded like he did not believe me, but he did not argue. Mia ran to me and showed me a drawing. I told her it was beautiful. Graham asked if I could sign her school note. I said I would do it after dinner. He asked if I could do it now so it would not be forgotten. I felt my face tighten. I said he acted like I was lazy. He said he did not say that. I said he implied it. After Mia went to brush her teeth, Graham asked if we could talk privately. I said yes, like I was doing him a favor. He asked why I seemed far away lately. I said he pushed me away. He asked how he pushed me away. I said he measured me and judged me and treated me like a risk. He asked if I had something to tell him. I said he was fishing for blame again. He said he did not want blame. He said he wanted clarity. I said clarity was just another word for control. He looked tired and asked if I even liked him. I said I loved him, but love did not mean he owned my time. He asked if I could stop talking about him to other people. I said if he acted better, I would have nothing to say. He walked away without shouting. That part bothered me more than shouting would have. I wanted him to crack. I wanted proof that he was the bad guy. Instead, he stayed calm and made me feel like the unstable one. The next day was a community hall fundraiser for a local school program. Families from Mia's school would be there, plus neighbors and co-workers. It was crowded and loud with folding chairs and a long snack table. Cassidy came with Tom. Sienna came with my mother. Graham came because Mia asked him to. I wore a fitted coat and smiled too much. I wanted everyone to see me as the bright wife with the nice life. Graham stood near the wall and spoke politely to people. When someone asked about his job, he answered in short sentences. When someone asked about the house renovations, I stepped in fast and spoke for both of us. Cassidy asked if everything was okay at home. I said Graham had been cold for weeks. She asked if he was punishing me. I said yes, in a way. Tom heard that and looked uncomfortable. He asked what Graham did. I said he did not talk and he watched money. Tom said that sounded like planning, not punishment. I ignored him. Sienna joked that I should remind Graham who the prize was. I laughed and said he should be grateful I married him at all. My mother smiled like it was normal. We sat at a table with parents from school. Someone asked how Graham and I met. I told the story in a way that made me look like the rescuer. I said he was awkward and I helped him learn how to live. People laughed lightly. Graham looked at his hands and stayed silent. Then someone complimented our house, saying it looked big and calm. I felt that spark in my chest, the one that made me feel above people. I leaned back and said I only married him for the house, like it was a funny truth. A few people laughed. Cassidy laughed the loudest. Sienna clapped once and said I was honest. I looked at Graham to see if he flinched. He did not. He just lifted his eyes slowly, like he was counting to 10 inside his head. A teenager nearby had a phone up, filming the crowd for a fun night video. I noticed it too late. I told myself it did not matter because it was just a joke. I told myself people liked bold women. Graham stood up and asked Mia if she wanted to go home soon. Mia said she wanted to stay a little. He said okay and sat back down, calm. A few minutes later, he got another call and stepped outside. He did not come back quickly. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he wanted me to chase him. I told myself he was trying to make me feel guilty so I would behave. When we got home, he did not mention the comment. He helped Mia wash her hands and set out her pajamas. He asked her about school. He read her a short story. He kissed her forehead and turned off her light. In the hallway, I tried to start a fight. I asked if he was upset. He said he was tired. I asked if he heard what I said. He said he heard it. I said it was a joke and he needed to lighten up. He asked why I thought humiliating him was funny. I said he humiliated me by acting like a jailer. He did not answer that. He walked to the guest room again. I heard a soft beep, like a phone app starting. Then I heard the door click shut. I stood in the hall and told myself I was still in control, even though my hands were shaking. The next day, I woke up with that tight feeling in my chest, like I had swallowed a stone. The fundraiser clip was already moving around. Cassidy sent it first, like it was funny. She said people were dying laughing. Sienna sent crying laugh emojis and said I was iconic. My mother wrote that I finally told the truth. I watched the clip with the sound on. I heard my own voice say I only married him for the house. I heard the laughter after. I watched Graham's face in the corner. He looked still. He did not look angry. That made me feel worse, so I told myself he was acting. I told myself he wanted to look innocent on camera. At the clinic, Lila asked if I was okay. She had seen the clip too. I said it was just a joke and people were too sensitive. She asked if Graham was upset. I said he always took things personally. I said he liked being the victim. Lila said it sounded harsh. I smiled and said she did not understand marriage. By noon, another co-worker asked if the clip was real. I said I was obviously exaggerating. I said everyone joked like that. I said my husband had a weak ego. I said I carried the social side of our life. The more I talked, the more it started to sound like truth even to me. When I got home after work, Graham was not in the kitchen. The house was quiet again, but it felt different. It felt organized. A folded towel sat on the couch arm, like someone had placed it on purpose. The entryway shoes were lined up. Mia's backpack was hung on its hook. I hated that I noticed these things. Graham walked in from the garage with grocery bags. He asked if I could talk after Mia went to bed. I said sure, like I was doing him a favor. He asked if I had posted anything else. I said no. He nodded and started putting food away. At dinner, Mia talked about school. She said there was a spelling test and she got most words right. Graham told her he was proud. I said good job too, but my mind was on the clip and the comments. Mia asked why Dad slept in the guest room again. Graham said he slept better there. I said he liked being dramatic. Graham looked at me and then looked back at Mia and said it was not about drama. He said it was about calm. After Mia went upstairs, Graham sat at the table and asked why I said that line in public. I said it was a joke. He asked why the joke needed to hurt him. I said he acted like a robot, and people needed entertainment. He asked if I respected him. I said respect followed results, and I had results. He asked what that meant. I said I kept the house looking good. I said I built the life. I said he just worked and came home and judged. He asked if I wanted to stay married. I said yes, but I wanted him to stop controlling me. He asked what control looked like. I said he watched money and asked questions and wanted privacy like he had something to hide. He said he wanted privacy because things were getting twisted. I asked what he meant. He said he did not want to talk in circles anymore. The next evening, we had dinner at his parents' family restaurant. Derek and Ruth ran it with a small staff. They had a long table set up for us and a few relatives. The smell of fried onions and warm bread filled the room. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, and every look meant something. I arrived ready to perform. I had decided I would not be the bad one in public. I walked in smiling and hugged Ruth. Ruth hugged me back, but her arms felt stiff. Derek greeted me politely and asked how work was. I said work was fine, and that I was tired because marriage was stressful. I said it like a joke, but my tone was sharp. At the table, Paula leaned close and whispered that I should not let them gang up on me. Sienna sat across and looked excited, like she wanted drama. Graham sat beside Mia and helped her fold her napkin. He looked calm, like he had practiced calm. Derek asked how things were at home. Graham said he wanted peace and respectful talk. I jumped in and said I wanted peace too, but Graham was cold and acted like I was the enemy. Ruth asked what I meant. I said he watched every little thing I did. I said he complained about my posts. I said he treated me like a risk. Graham asked me to stop using that word. He said he did not treat me like a risk. He said he asked for honesty. I said he asked for obedience. Derek asked if I had been honest. I said yes, and I looked at Paula like I needed backup. Paula said a wife did not need to report her whole life. Ruth asked about the fundraiser clip. I said everyone was being dramatic and it was just a joke. Derek said jokes had truth inside. I laughed and said sure, and I said the truth was that I made the house a home. I said Graham would live like a bachelor without me. A few relatives looked down at their plates. Graham asked why I kept humiliating him. I said he humiliated me by acting like I did not matter. He asked when he did that. I said every time he looked at me like a problem. He said he looked at me like a problem because he kept catching lies. I asked what lies. He said small ones, about time and where I was. I said he was paranoid. I said he needed therapy. Mia sat quiet and picked at her food. Ruth noticed and asked Mia if she was okay. Mia said she was fine. She looked at Graham and then at me like she was watching weather. After dinner, Derek asked Graham to help him carry boxes in the back. They stood near the kitchen doorway, talking low. Ruth stayed with Mia and offered dessert. Sienna followed me to the restroom hallway and asked if I was scared. I said no. She said Graham looked different lately. I said he was doing an act. On the way home, Graham drove and I stared out the window. He asked if we could keep Mia out of adult fights. I said he was the one making fights. He said he was trying to end them. I said he would end them by letting me live. He asked what living meant. I said going out, having friends, being seen. He said being seen was not the same as being loyal. I told him loyalty was not the same as being owned. A few days later, I showed up at Graham's office tower without warning. I told myself it was because I wanted to fix things. It was really because I wanted control back. The lobby had bright floors and a security desk. People moved fast with badges. I saw Graham near the elevators. He looked surprised, but not shaken. He asked what I was doing there. I said we needed to talk. He said not here. I said why not, if he had nothing to hide. He said this was his workplace, and it was not appropriate. I raised my voice a little, hoping someone would notice. I wanted him to look guilty. He asked me to lower my voice. I said I would not be silenced. He said he was not silencing me, he was setting a boundary. He stepped back and called someone on his phone. He told me Mia would be picked up safely today, and that we could talk later at home. Then he walked away without touching me, without shouting, without giving me the scene I wanted. When I got home that night, I saw the guest room door open for 1 second. I caught a glimpse of a neat row of folders on the desk. One label faced outward like it wanted to be read. It said bank. Another said utilities. Another said house. Graham noticed me looking and closed the door softly, like he was shutting a lid on something that could not be undone. I woke up on a Monday and felt like I was living in a house that was starting to reject me. The rooms looked the same, but the rules felt different. Graham moved like someone who had already made decisions. He was not begging anymore. He was not asking me to understand. He was simply doing things. In the kitchen, I saw a sticky note on the counter. It was in his neat handwriting. It said, "Bring forms." It was short and plain. I picked it up and turned it over like there would be more. There was nothing. I put it back where it was, like that would erase it. Graham walked in and asked if Mia's lunch was packed. I said yes. He asked if I could stop by the school office to sign a permission slip. I said I had work and he could do it. He said he would handle it. His voice was calm, and that made me feel like he was treating me as optional. Mia came in and asked if we could go to the park after school. I said maybe. Graham said they could go for a short time. Mia smiled at him and nodded. I felt a sharp feeling in my chest. I told myself he was buying her affection. I told myself he was turning her against me. At the clinic, I was jumpy. Every small thing felt like a signal. When the phone rang, I snapped at a patient for not having their insurance card. When Lila asked if I wanted to eat together, I said I was too busy. I watched the door like someone would walk in with bad news. Noah messaged me around noon. He asked if I was okay because I had been quiet. I said things were messy at home. He said I should come over and breathe. I said I could not. Then I stared at my own message and felt angry at myself. I told myself I deserved comfort. I told myself Graham had pushed me into needing someone else. After work, I went to the pharmacy to pick up allergy medicine for Mia. The line was long. People stood close, and the lights made everything look pale. I kept checking my phone. I saw a file uploaded successfully notification on my cloud app. I did not remember uploading anything. I opened it, but it only showed a recent activity list with no clear names. My stomach turned. When I got home, Graham's car was in the driveway, pointed toward the street again. I walked inside and found Mia in the living room doing homework. Graham sat at the far end of the couch, not touching her, just present. He asked how my day was. I said it was fine. He asked if we could talk later. I said sure, but my tone was sharp. In the kitchen, I opened the fridge and saw my favorite juice move to a different shelf. It was a small thing, but it felt like a message. I asked why everything in the house was changing. Graham said he was organizing. I asked why he was organizing now. He said because he needed things clear. I tried to laugh. I asked if he was preparing to leave. He said he was preparing to live properly, with or without noise. I told him he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. That word hit me. Careful, like I was dangerous, like I could not be trusted around basic facts. After Mia went upstairs, Graham stood by the island and asked if I had been honest about where I had gone lately. I said yes. He asked if I had met anyone. I said no. He asked if I wanted him to stop asking. I said he should stop accusing. He said he was not accusing. He was noticing. I told him he was acting like a detective. He said he had to, because the truth did not come easily in this house anymore. I told him he was the reason truth felt hard, because he judged everything. He said he judged actions, not feelings. I took a breath and decided to go bigger. I told him I could file for divorce if he kept this up. I said I would take the house and the stability because I was the mother and I had needs. I said it like a threat, even though I told myself it was just being honest. Graham did not blink. He asked if that was really what I wanted. I said I wanted respect. I said I wanted him to stop acting like I was a criminal in my own home. He asked what made it my home. I laughed and said the marriage made it mine. I said I had put years into it. I said I had decorated, hosted, cleaned, supported him. I said I had built his image. He asked if I thought the law worked like feelings. I said the law worked like fairness, and fairness meant I would not leave empty-handed. He looked at me for a long moment. Then he asked me to keep Mia out of threats. I told him I was not using Mia. He said I had just implied Mia would choose sides. I said he was twisting my words. The next day I pushed harder. I called my mother and told her Graham was hiding money and making secret plans. Paula said I needed to get ahead of him. She said I needed to remind him what a wife could do if she was pushed. Sienna said I should post something first to frame the story. Cassidy said I should keep it clean, like a sad quote and a photo of Mia's shoes by the door. I drafted a post in my notes. I wrote that I had been carrying everything alone. I wrote that I had been emotionally neglected. I wrote that I had been controlled. I stared at the words and felt powerful, like I was building a wall. That afternoon, I picked Mia up from school. In the pickup line, Mia asked if Dad was mad at me. I said no, Dad was just stressed. She asked if we were going to move. I said no, because this was our house. I said it firmly, like saying it could make it real. Mia nodded but looked unsure. At the playground, Graham showed up earlier than usual. He stood a few steps away and watched Mia on the swings. He did not look at me much. He asked Mia if she wanted to go get ice cream later. Mia said yes. He asked me if that was okay. I said it was fine, but my voice sounded tight. On the walk back to the cars, I tried one more time to poke him. I asked if he thought he could scare me out of my own home. He asked what I meant. I said the folders, the late-night sorting, the secret appointments. He said he was handling responsibilities. I said responsibilities meant hiding. He said responsibilities meant doing things the right way. I told him he was acting like a man who wanted to punish me. He said he did not want punishment. He said he wanted order. I said order was just control in a nicer shirt. He stopped near the curb. Cars rolled past slowly. The air smelled like cold leaves and exhaust. He looked at me like he was seeing me clearly for the first time, and it made my skin feel hot. He asked if I really believed I could threaten and shame him into giving me what I wanted. I said I believed I knew how people worked. I said I knew how to win a story. He nodded once, small and final. He said he would not fight my way. He said he would handle it properly. Then he opened his car door, helped Mia into the back seat with calm hands, and drove away, like my words had finally stopped mattering. The courthouse lobby smelled like wet coats and strong coffee. My heels clicked on the tile, and every sound felt too loud. I told myself I did not belong here, because I had done nothing wrong. I told myself Graham was the one who turned it into a case. He stood near a wall with a thin folder in his hands. He looked clean and calm, like he was going to work. He did not look at me the way I wanted. He did not look scared. That made my anger grow, so I walked faster. My mother Paula arrived behind me, breathing hard. She asked what was happening. I said Graham was trying to steal my house. My sister Sienna came too, but her face looked pale. She asked if this was real. I said it was just a scare tactic. Ruth was there with Mia. Ruth kept Mia close and spoke softly to her. Mia stared at the floor and held her little backpack straps like a lifeline. I wanted to pull Mia to my side, but I also did not want to look messy in public. A deputy called our names. Graham stepped forward without a shake in his hands. I followed like I was the one who should be leading. In the hallway, a few people waited on benches. Some looked up. I felt heat in my cheeks, and I told myself it was their fault for watching. In the courtroom, everything felt smaller than I expected. I kept thinking a judge would hear my story and understand. I expected emotions to matter. I expected the years to matter. I expected the kitchen island and the birthdays and the school mornings to matter. Graham's lawyer spoke first. I did not look at the lawyer's face for long. I focused on Graham's posture. He sat straight and listened like a person who had prepared. When it was my turn, I said Graham was trying to push me out. I said I had built that home. I said I had kept the house beautiful. I said I had supported his image and his life. I said it was unfair to treat me like a visitor. The judge asked questions in a flat voice. The judge asked about ownership, not feelings. The judge asked about title, not effort. The judge asked about documents, not my sacrifices. Graham's side showed proof. They showed that the house was titled only to Graham. They showed the purchase happened before we married, and the down payment came from his separate funds. They showed a recorded ownership structure tied to his family, set up long before me. They showed my name was not on the deed at any point. My mouth went dry. I turned to Paula, and she stared back like she had swallowed her words. Sienna's eyes filled, and she looked away. I tried to argue that marriage made it mine. The judge said marriage did not change recorded ownership by itself. I tried to say I paid for things. The judge asked for proof and dates and sources. I did not have clean answers. I only had my story. Then the judge ruled on temporary possession. The judge granted Graham exclusive use of the house while the case moved forward. The judge ordered that I had to vacate by a set deadline and follow a plan for picking up personal items. The judge said Mia's schedule would be handled through a structured process, and the adults needed to stop using the child as pressure. In the hallway, the deputy explained the next steps like it was a normal day. Ruth took Mia's hand and guided her away without looking at me. Graham walked past me with that thin folder, and he did not smile, but he did not bend either.